Ms. Rogers, you say after an encounter with your elementary school sweetheart, you ended up pregnant. You say the defendant has gone through great lengths to deny he is the father of your son, Christian. Mr. Stone.
Yes, Your Honor.
You say Ms. Rogers is promiscuous and it was only a casual fling. You say she has even slept with some of your friends and therefore it is impossible you are the father of her baby. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Rogers, you say there's no doubt Mr. Stone is Christian's father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Explain.
I met him in elementary school. We was friends. I kind of moved away after a while. We was close friends, but, you know, we never kept in touch because we were so young. And one day after some years of being apart, I was at my friend's house, or I was at her boyfriend's house, and we were chilling, and he walked through the door, and I'm like, really? Of all places, he had to walk into where I'm at. So we was talking, laughing, joking about old times, how you been, catching up and stuff. And we went back to my friend's house with her boyfriend, and we had sex that day. And we left her house and went back to his house and had sex again a couple times. And after that, it's just like we would hang out, have sex, and it went on about like a month. Once I found out that he had a girlfriend, we stopped talking.
You had no idea?
I did not have no idea that he had a girlfriend. He told me about a girl that he had talked to, but he stopped talking to her.
When I walked into that house, she was at one of my friends' house. And when I walked in, she was already hugged up with one of my friends.
I was not hooked up with nobody. When he walked in the door, I was sitting at the table.
On his lap.
I was not on nobody's lap. When he came in the door, I was sitting at the table. The friend that he was talking about was in the kitchen. I was not sitting on nobody's lap.
Your Honor, when I walked in, we caught eyes. She was on his lap. And
I was not
like
on his lap.
we ended up talking.
He can make you believe I was not.
One at a time.
We separated from everybody. We started talking. Yes, we ended up leaving from one of my friend's house, went to her friend's house. We did have sex, but we had a condom on.
No.
When we left that house, we went home, went to my house. We had a condom on. Then
we had a condom on, yes. In the bathroom at my friend's house, yes, we had a condom on. Yes, the first time we went to his house, yes, we did have a condom on. Not every time I had sex with him, we wore a condom. Not every time.
Did you have unprotected sex
one time,
with
Your
Ms.
Honor.
Stone?
It was not one time.
And that was in the threesome.
It was not one time.
In the where?
And the threesome between me, her, and...
We had a threesome. The night I found out that he had a girlfriend, we had a threesome.
Jerome, at first I thought he said in the freezer. Then I realized he said in a threesome. I don't know which one caught me by surprise more. So you didn't use protection in a threesome with Miss Rogers and another...
The other girl was my girlfriend.
That he did not tell me about until that night. He did not tell me that this girl was his girlfriend. Yes, he said that he was talking to a girl before, but he told me that right then he was single. I would not have kept sleeping with him if I knew that he was in a relationship. I'm not that type of person to sleep with somebody in a relationship that I know was in a relationship.
But you were still talking to one of my friends.
I was not talking to nobody. When I was talking to him, it was just me and him, and we was never together. We was never in a relationship. It was just friends having sex. That's it. His other friend, I knew him about the same time I known him. He just don't know that. He does not know how I know these people, but he keeps trying to make assumptions. I knew him as a friend. I did not sleep with him, so after me and him had stopped talking, I did not sleep with that boy during me and him having sex.
I heard that
we did not have sex until after I had stopped talking to him.
I heard it happened the day before, 3 days after, and then...
No. I never slept with the boy.
When she told
I never slept on no boy's lap. He's a liar. He's a liar.
One at a time. One at a time. So your friends were talking, Mr. Stone.
Yes.
And you all basically compared notes?
No. What happened was that
all lying together.
I told him, like, I knew Destiny for a while, you feel me? So I was like, you talked to her? He like, yeah, I talked to her. We did this, we did that. So I'm like, oh, really? You feel me? So I'm like, when was this? He broke it down to me like, yeah, we did it the day before. Then I want to say 3 days after. And then when she told me she was pregnant, he want to say they did it
No.
Twice?
You're saying that isn't true.
It's not true.
At the time you were sleeping with Mr. Stone, were you sleeping with anyone else?
No. The whole time the man was having sex, I did not sleep with nobody else. All these boys in his little friend group that he has, I've known a lot of them a very long time.
She told me she was in a relationship already.
I was in a relationship. I have just got out of a relationship. I was not with nobody when I was with him.
But were there any benefits with the other friends?
No. There was no benefits with no other friends until after I stopped talking to him. He can hear whatever he wants to. All them boys was liars.
You told me yourself that you would have an encounter before we even had the first encounter.
First of all, when he walked in the door, the day he came over, me and his friend was talking. We was catching up too. I was not sitting on his lap or nothing. When he came, we all went in the basement because the boys was playing the games, and we were talking. We was catching up. I went and told my friend, I'm like, because she didn't know I know him. Nobody in the house knew I knew him before he walked in that house. And we was all telling people, oh, we went to school together. I was not sitting on nobody.
Listen, Ms. Rogers, it really doesn't matter. At the end of the day, I mean, even if you were sitting on the friend's lap or you weren't, at the end of the night, you were sitting on Mr. Stone's. That's the problem. I want to understand the facts surrounding this situation. How did you find out you were pregnant?
I went to the doctor to get my birth control shot because I know I'm having sex, so I'm like, I need to go because I don't want to have no more kids.
Any more?
I have twins.
18 years old with 3 children?
Yes.
Okay.
I didn't want no more kids because I had just gotten accepted to college. Everything was looking up, so I was like, I wanted to put the cap on before anything happens, not knowing that I was already pregnant. So it was like, I was scared. I really was, because it was like another baby. So I called him and told him I was pregnant.
We never had that conversation.
No.
Not once. What happened was, this particular day, I was in the car with one of my friends. They pulled up on me, and he said he had to go pick his girl up and her, which is her best friend. We get to them. We drop them off at the hospital. Imagine, I don't know what we doing. She haven't said nothing. Imagine, we did drop her off at the hospital. I did not know not one thing. We dropped them off and left. When we came back, she still haven't told me she was pregnant. I didn't know nothing then. And that was early, like, I want to say 3-4 months in. I didn't know nothing. When she walked up and said she had to tell me something, but didn't tell me right then and there.
That's not what happened.
And then waited a month or two later to finally come out.
So you're dropping her off at the hospital.
Bro.
And you don't know why?
Yeah, I wasn't driving. I was in the passenger seat. My friend came to me. We were chilling, talking, and then he said he had to go pick them up and drop them off. So I rode with him.
He saw the ultrasound pictures when I came out the hospital. He looked at them.
No, I did not.
He held them in his hand and looked at
No, I did not.
Picture of my ultrasound. It said, "You're having a boy." I didn't find out I was pregnant until I was 4 months pregnant. I give that to him.
My friend sent me a picture.
I give him that. Okay. I'm in the car with my friend. They had been over my house. They was like, I said, "Can you take me to my ultrasound?" She said, "Okay." I was already in the car when we picked him up. We picked him up from his school because he was walking his sister to school. And then we went to the ultrasound, and he sat in the car with his 2 friends, and me and my best friend went up there to the ultrasound to get it did. When I got back in the car, I sat next to him. I sat next to him. And he looked at the ultrasound pictures, and he said, "Damn, he got a big ass head." That's what he said.
Wait a minute. So
I don't remember you showing me the ultrasound pictures.
He said it.
And so you don't remember any of this, Mr. Stone?
I remember that day exactly.
He got amnesia since we here. He don't remember none of this now.
Do you remember ever seeing ultrasound pictures of the baby?
Yes, through a text message that I got through a friend.
At what point did you determine the baby was Mr. Stone's?
When that day I went to that ultrasound, I found out I was having a boy, and that lady told me when my baby was conceived.
Okay, so at your ultrasound, you got the date, the conception date.
Days don't even add up, Your Honor.
What did they say?
The lady said that I got pregnant during the beginning of November.
Okay. Is that when you were intimate with Mr. Stone?
Yes, that was part of the time I was out.
No, Your Honor, we were intimate between the 17th and the 22th.
Dog. We had
22nd, because my birthday is the 24th. It was the week before my birthday.
We had been having sex for almost a month. Okay, we started having sex at the end of October, towards the end of November.
So you say for an entire month?
No, it was the beginning, like the mid-November.
Your Honor.
And then, like I said, from the 17th to the 17th to 22nd, and then the baby was born.
I can show you.
August 25th.
He can even say that. Even if you want to say that, my baby was still conceived in November.
What is that you have, Miss Rogers?
I have a calendar. And
let me see that, please. Jerome, will you hand me that evidence?
It shows you when my baby was conceived, no matter where you want to put it at, and when he was born.
This is a calendar that states that baby Christian was born on August 25th.
I went over my due date because Christian was a very big baby, and my body wasn't trying to get him
Definitely
to
ain't hear
come
about
out.
that one either.
You say you were intimate with Mr. Stone in November. And that's when the doctors told you conceived. And so, Mr. Stone, you admit that you were intimate with Ms. Rogers in November. You say it's between the 17th and the 22nd.
Yes, and the last encounter was, I want to say, about the 22nd.
No.
Okay. Why are you so convinced you aren't or can't be the father when that falls right within the window of conception identified by the doctors?
Because of the fact of her exact words. You can't tell nobody it's a possibility. You can't do that. That have your mind wondering. And then other information that I conceived that I know that was true.
So you do know that it's a possibility, you just don't believe it for certain.
Deep down inside, I don't think it's my child at all.
This is the first time he's saying this. Let me tell you something. When me and him talk, this is his baby, okay? This is
Really?
baby. He says my baby. He does not say the baby. He says my baby. I have text messages of him saying,
Baby got
when
forced up
can I
in
get
your arms.
I'd like
my
to
baby?
see those. Jerome, will you hand me these
Sure.
text messages? The messages say, from Mr. Stone, what are you doing? And you say, sitting here. And Mr. Stone says, oh, okay, I miss Nugget. You write, okay. And then you write back, Mr. Stone, when can I have my baby?
So if you didn't think the baby is yours, why are you calling my baby now?
Because at this time, I was already attached to the baby, and I told her that. Why? Because I grew up without a father, and I know that the predicament that he in, he might grow up without one, too, and I wasn't like that.
Listen, now
So I tried to step up and be a man about the situation.
I never.
and
My thing is, I always
still getting pushed down,
never
saying
fought.
I'm being wrong and I'm doing
I
everything
told
right.
him that I don't fault you because I did say that it might be a possibility. I never fought him for that. So it's like I did
Like she
tell
hid
him.
everything on me
I
until
did.
the baby was born.
I did tell him that I don't fault him for how he feels, but he has not came to me since my baby had been born, really saying that he really felt like this wasn't his baby. His family members that came over said that my baby looked just like him.
Well, Miss Rogers, you are saying now that you told him there's a possibility there could be someone else, but you came to court today saying you know for sure.
I do know for sure. I said then in that conversation that it might be a possibility because this was around the audience house when I found out I was pregnant because I didn't know exactly how far along I was. When I went the first found out I was pregnant, I didn't they couldn't tell me. I did not get an actual ultrasound until like probably a month and a half later. Because after I left there, I had other stuff that I had to get
So
rid
why
of the
didn't you
baby.
come straight to me and tell me that you thought you was pregnant with my baby instead of having somebody else come to me?
I
My
told you
friends
myself.
came to me.
I called him.
My
I
friends
called
came
him.
to me
I called
first.
him. My mom had to go to the children's center with my sisters, and I sat there while they was in the back, and I called him, and I told him, I said,
That's a lie,
I'm
Your Honor.
pregnant. I said, I'm pregnant.
So you're saying you did tell him to his face?
No, I was on the phone with
Never.
him.
On the phone, and you say, Mr. Stone, you heard it from somebody else.
My friends
He
called me
didn't
first.
hurt
All right.
somebody else.
So I don't think they've agreed on one point today, Jerome. I mean, not one thing. It's as if you all were in two different galaxies and somehow ended up with a potential child.
I agree with you.
Everything you say, I don't think they agreed on anything but the threesome.
Yeah. It's true.
And that's not a good thing.
No.
I mean,
And that's why we're here today.
yes, ma'am.
Jerome, I'm ready for the results. These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. The case of Rogers versus Stone. When it comes to 7-month-old Christian Rogers, it has been determined by this court. Mr. Stone, you are not the father.
Told you I ain't got lying about nothing. I know what I did. I paid for extra.
It's cool.
Not cool. Child.
It is
it's
cool.
not-
You proved
it's
what you wanted to. You proved that I'm such the whore that you think I am. You proved it.
It's not
Thank
that. I
you.
wanted to
You
know for a
proved it.
fact.
No,
I wanted to
you
know for a
proved
fact
it.
is that my
You
child
proved
or
it.
not.
You proved it. You
Just like I
proved I'm
told you,
such
I'm
no
not
whore and I don't
no
know who
man
my
will
baby
grow up
daddy.
without a father,
You proved it.
period.
You proved your point. You're good.
Do you know who Christian's biological father is, since it is not Mr. Stone?
Yeah. But he doesn't want nothing to do with me or Nugget, so.
So what we have to do now is very important. I want you to understand that just because you have the children, and I know they're young now, I don't want you to feel like you cannot become something. Your children are blessings, and you're still worth every opportunity that comes before you. Getting yourself an education is going to be key. You're going to need that. Mr. Stone, I know. And I'll tell you what, you all used to be very close friends. Miss Rogers probably can use a friend, but a real friend. Not one that's getting her into situations that's going to negatively affect her future, but one that will build her up and remind her what's possible.
Always been here for her. Always. I just wanted to know the truth.
Good. I want you all to get back to just being friends, real friends, platonic friends. And Miss Rogers, use your village. Mr. Stone loves your baby, and you never know how he can be of help to you. Whatever you need, make sure you check on her, okay? I wish you all the very, very best of luck. Court is adjourned.